Yeah, I'm just extremely pleased with the work that the staff, and not just our football staff, but everyone involved in it from a standpoint of compliance administration, because there were just so many hands in this. But we're excited. I mean, our staff did a great job getting out and identifying. We love so much about the foundation that is already here, but there's certain needs and certain things that especially are going to fit what you're going to do going forward. So we really identified those, and I give a staff a lot of credit identifying those things and those needs. And we were really pleased with not only some of the length, some of the speed, some of the athleticism, but also a lot of these guys, as we met them and we met their family, just what they were going to also add to the community, to the locker room, what they were going to, again, be aligned with what we are, who we are as a program, obviously, athletically, but more importantly, academically as well. So tremendous class in that regard.
Rob, you have some questions?
Just being back in the Big Sky for you, was there any changes to how you went about going through with the recruiting process, and how different was it compared to your experience in the Pac-12?
Going back to experiences in the Big Sky, it was similar. I mean, you were identifying, guys locally. I mean, when I was, in the Big Sky for those 9 years as a head coach at Eastern Washington, we were very much in-state based, and we'd get out of state some, especially when we were identifying needs. In the state of California and our location where we are, we're going to be in-state even that much more. So those similarities were definitely there. Just because this state is so rich of great, student athletes. I mean, truly, they're just, an abundance of them, quite frankly. So when you can earmark those that fit, they'll be out there. You just got to do a great job of recruiting them and having them involved. So that part was very similar. And the experience from Cal really allowed me to understand what it is to recruit into, a university that's a top 10 nationally, academically, and what that is and what that means and the type of, young men you're identifying. Those years at Cal really, I think, just helped prepare me, in terms of, one, identifying, two, relating with, talking about it, and just understanding that impact that it's going to have on these young men for not just 4 to 5 years here, but obviously 40, 50 years. We always talked about that while I was at Cal Berkeley, and it's no different here at Cal Poly, the impact that this experience and this education, along with obviously the football experience, will give you for the rest of your life. And I can go down the list, because I don't think any one is more important than the other. I mean, we were able to sign 15, starting out John Burns, and he was someone that was, he was recruited by the last class, so it was definitely, huge. Or what I mean by that, he was recruited earlier, signed with us now, he's someone who, again, has great length, has position versatility, going to be in the secondary for us, which is huge. Zedekiah Centers, wide receiver, smooth runner, strong hands. He's going to be someone that, again, that's a need at the receiver position right now. Not that the receiver's here, but it was different. It was a different animal. So we have to fill some of those spots. We have some very capable receivers in program, but we still have to continue to build on that. Centers will do that as well. With just adding to that and having a chance. Robert Greer, defensive end, but also has ability from a tight end standpoint, but long, very long, athletic. When you look at a few of the guys, and Greer fits in this, some of the length that he brings to the table and some of the, stuff he can do athletically is huge. Connor Heffler, a true linebacker. I mean, he's one of those guys that you're going to see him play. I mean, he's got a great burst. He's slightly undersized, but part of the reason, sometimes, quite frankly, part of the reason sometimes guys maybe don't get recruited quite as heavy might be because of that undersized, but his ability and his level to play the position and what he's going to add to our defense, we're really excited about what Connor can do. Josh Henderson, another linebacker, a little bit longer, definitely a sideline-to-sideline type linebacker, someone who's going to have a chance to be very impactful right away. So definitely filling some defensive needs right there. Shabazz Muhammad, He's incredible ball skills, very solid position versatility, can play inside and outside. And we came upon him a little bit late. Going to be excited there. Eli Otero, an O-lineman, going to be able to join us in the spring. And he's converted 1 year to O-line. He was playing defensive end before that, and really excited about what Eli can bring. And again, we have a lot of great interior O-linemen here, and not quite as many tackles. So that was something we wanted to identify, and I think Eli's going to have a chance to do that right away. Kalik Paulette, quarterback. He's coming in from San Antonio, and he has kind of a little bit of everything. I always talk about QBs with a +1. You know, what do they do that's a little bit different or a little bit extra? And he does a few things that are a little bit extra. Can escape the pocket, can throw from the pocket, very quick release, can be dynamic in the run game. So really excited about Kalik and his addition to the program. Elijah Ponder, definitely a twitchy, athletic, edge-type player. Again, he'll give us, some added strength in a pass rush, in that pass rush mode. And we're excited, again, that he'll be joining us. Patrick Roberg, interesting situation there. He's a former quarterback and to know some of these guys as fast as you can within a couple-week period. And he was someone that we identified late in the process, but is a huge get for us that way. Ethan Rodriguez, big body, heavy hands, explosive, adds to that defensive front. Going to have a chance to really, again, progress and help us, again, on that side of the ball. Jonathan Serdinsky, great student team captain. He actually dealt with an injury, but he's one of those guys that's going to have a chance. Basketball player, very athletic because of an injury. I think certain times, he fell through a little bit, some of the cracks, but his upside is going to be really special in my opinion. Another guy like we talk about at that offensive tackle position. Hudson Walker, another guy, great athleticism. You see it on the hoop court. He's going to have a chance again with that D front, and again, add some more length to it. Again, a lot of these, I can mention about all of them this way. I was able to meet a lot of these guys in person and see them, and just he's another guy that jumped out at me. It's just, again, someone you're going to want around your locker room. And then C.J. Woods, another dominant basketball player with maybe a little more length, going to, fill, again, that spot at tight end where we're starting to build that position, and C.J. will bring exactly that. So he's your typical what you're seeing nowadays with some of these great tight ends. He's going to have that. They're converted from being great on the basketball floor as well. So that's kind of a quick. I definitely didn't do any of these guys the justice they deserve, but just wanted to give you kind of a quick overview of the 15 guys that we were very fortunate to sign with the second class. And it's a lot of people's hard work that got us to this point.
Coach, can you talk about maybe some of the advantages, disadvantages of trying to start a program from scratch, taking over as in your first year? How does that maybe help, hurt when you're going through the recruitment process?
Yeah, I think some of the advantages are they know you're coming in fresh. Everything's fresh. They're coming in with you. Because these days, too, kids get, not kids. They're young men, but they're 17, 18. Certain times student athletes are coming into spots where there might be some uncertainty in I go to play for this staff and maybe I start to really, and then 2 years later, I'm not with them. And there's never any guarantees in that game, but it can be an advantage to know, gosh, we're all coming in fresh together. We're all starting at the same time. There's something to that. We're all getting that, that fair shot early, however you want to look at that. So that's definitely something that I felt from a lot of guys. They wanted to be a part of something. And like I've said, and I've said it over and over, the foundation around here is fantastic. And it's been set for a lot of years, and there have been a lot. So by no means am I ever saying, we got to flip this thing around. No, you just have to build on it and build it to what you believe in. So the guys are excited about the fact that, hey, you're coming into a place that already has a great foundation. We're just these are some of the things that are going to be different within our staff and what we do and how we do it. And you get them excited about it because they know they're coming in with that. And especially when you talk about some of these positions I'm mentioning, like the tight end position, per se, where, you know, you didn't necessarily have those in the other system. Those young tight ends get excited about that. Okay, I'm starting something new. And I ran into the same thing 3 years ago at Cal. They didn't really have tight ends there with the air raid system when we came in, so some of those young tight ends were excited. So those are definitely it. You know, disadvantage, I try not to, you know, really even think about them. You know, quite honestly, I mean, you know, to me, everything, you know, everywhere is going to have its challenges, but you don't want to focus on them. I mean, the one thing I will say is when you're a new staff, you don't get to develop the relationship as long with these guys. So that is something that I'm excited going into year 2, where you develop a little bit more of a relationship, you know, year round up until the signing day, which can also be harder too, because then when you're not able to get them, that hurts, you know, because you've developed this relationship for a long time. But that definitely did come up, I think, in a couple situations where maybe had we been in the picture for longer, could that have looked different at the end? But that's all a part of coming into something new, and every coach and every staff has gone through that at some point.